Hello everyone and welcome to a new mini-series. So today is gonna be a little bit different. So some of you might know I'm a CTO at Cobiro and we are hiring people all the time. And then, I found a specific problem that happens in our industry, and it's like pretty much making a task. So whenever you wanna go and apply for a job, you need to probably make some tasks. And the task is actually very important for us at Cobiro is because it shows your skills, right? And it should be a showcase of what you have learned so far. And a lot of times I will get this trend in like 99% of the times people think about actually delivering a task. And I would like to state it, and it's even stated in our task, that it's not important for us. So I hope a lot of other companies think the same way, is because it doesn't need to really work. I mean, you could just deliver a piece of TypeScript code if you apply for our Angular position, and then just, showcase some of cool stuff you've learned and show us the clean code. Actually, simple and clean code. This is what we're looking for, and this is what most of the people just don't get. And I believe it is something I can help you guys to go through and learn some of the even basic and fundamental stuff. So I have an example of a test that someone did, and it's not a particular person per se. It's just like a common trends I see in a code. So just in a second we will go through it, and then I can show you like most of the mistakes people make. But I want you to understand that Angular is really cool framework, but the stuff I'm gonna talk is pretty framework-less. I mean, engineering practices has been there for years. Like, I recommend a lot of cool books you should read, and it doesn't matter what technology you use. So you should definitely read Martin Fowler's book, like Refactoring. You should read Domain-Driven Design, both by Vernon and Eric Evans. You should definitely read about clean code and Uncle Bob stuff. He's really brilliant about, coding practices. You should read Design Patterns by Gang of Four. And these are very old books. I mean, they've been for 10, 20, some of them even 30 years. And since the beginning of like object-oriented programming, this is what people have been doing. And yet we have like engineers who apply for the jobs and they break all those rules. This is like bizarre to me. So I really want to like fight this trend of doing bad code and start focusing on a simple, elegant solutions without over engineering. Because the stuff I'm gonna show you is really like something you can read of Tour of Heroes when you go to angular.io. So pretty much all we need is a service that gets stuff from the backend. We need a smart controller that can actually fetch that data and then delegate it to presentational component. Actually, the example I'm going to show is slightly more complex because it contains some state logic, but it could be with the state logic or without the state logic. So let's see how it goes. I can show you some of the examples, but I will pinpoint what 99% of the people are doing wrong, and I hope it will be very valuable for it. So stay tuned. Alright, so this is a application that we should be building. So notice we have a top bar with some fake information about the user. Then we have the sidebar thing with some menu. It doesn't really work, it doesn't need to work. And then we have the main content. In the main content we have two sort of things. One is the search bar and the other one is the list, actually a tree list that can show items. For now we call them item, but think about it like a product or something like this. And then it has like the parent, the root nodes are made maximum to the left, where children and children of children needs to add some extra padding or need to be represented in that way. So here we have a parent with children, with child, and that child has another child. Then we have a parent with no child, and then the parent with one child, and that child has two children. So that way That's how it is. That's all it is. So let's see how it actually done in the code. So the app looks like this. It's pretty standard Angular app. So we have the src and the folders inside. So while I'm actually reviewing, I'm not gonna go very much into detail why things are wrong, but I'm gonna pinpoint some of the areas I consider a smell or something that we should pay more attention to. And this is also advice for you, what you should pay more attention to when you actually make applications. So again, we move from like, I just want to get it to work, what junior guys do, to more senior, like what is the reasoning behind actually every single thing I'm doing. So here we go, app, straightforward, assets, environments, and styles. Well, the styles is a little bit of a code smell for me. It's a smell, architectural smell. Why not in the assets? So yeah, it's a bit. So I start reviewing the code and I see, okay, this guy is like has a blank slate with me, like totally fine. So when I see things that are done like normally, like I would normally do, then I consider it pretty decent. So as long as the guy doesn't get a lot of minus points, it's pretty much a pass. So here is a code smell, so I will definitely drill into that later. There we go, we move to the apps. Yeah, this is a bit of a code smell. Why is it called list? We're gonna talk about it later. And then we have the header and the sidebar. What I expect here is that there's gonna be nothing in the component, yes, and also like a template which doesn't have any content projection, and I expect exactly the same in the other one. Yeah, well, this one has a bit of a state shift, and then like this. So this is slightly code smell for me as well, but we're gonna talk about it later. And then I see this data service. This is sort of a code smell for me too. Like, why is it here? What does it do? Application usually is empty. Yeah. Empty, yeah, just a template for the layout. And then this one is being here. I see a lot of code smell in this class. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, what else? So let's go to the list. Yeah, okay, cool. So we have the list with some components. I would expect this is a smart component. Yeah, I see a lot of code smell in here. Yeah, in here I see quite a few code smells, and also like a reference to the data folder from outside the folder. So it's sort of like, it should be in the same module at least. Okay, let's look at here. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Let's have a look at the search bar, search component. Yeah, I see quite a few code smells in here as well. We're gonna talk about it, definitely talk about it. Yeah, just a template, a level component. Okay, we have an input, but it's still pretty straightforward. Nothing's happening. Okay, and then we have this thing. Okay, cool. I think we can optimize it. And then item. I wonder what's that. Okay, I can feel quite a few code smells in here, but it probably represents like a single row, which might be, oh yeah, okay, this is a classical code smell. And then, yeah, okay, we're gonna have a lot of work to do here. So, I mean, does application work? Yeah, it does, but like, this is not a passing test. I can tell you very much into detail. Let me just structure the work a little bit and come back to you with like a refactoring. So what you can expect from me going forward is, we're gonna do TDD way, of course, I always do TDD. Then we might actually do ATTD as well. I'm gonna show you some cool stuff. I'm not gonna change the architecture per se. I'm gonna keep it simple with the service, smart component, presentational component. But I'm gonna add definitely some models, like enrich the domain quite heavily to get rid of some of the code smells. And you can see. So what you will learn by the end of this mini series is how to write easy to maintain, solid, with design patterns, with easy, flexible architecture that will be able for you to write much better code and actually argue about it when you go into the test and you want to defend your solution. So the code that you see is something I see 99% of the times. There are small variations to it, but pretty much all of it is the same. And it's just really funny to me, like, how is it possible, it seems like everyone follows the same tutorials or the same sort of like Medium articles or whatever. I mean, probably the guys who just go and Google things and then you get the first working solution and just put it in. I mean, this is terrible. Like, don't do that. Like, you're much better than this. And I'm going to show you what's the better way. Okay, stay tuned.